going to show you how we will use the dynamic input function in AutoCAD. You can activate the dynamic input by pressing F12 on the keypad, on the keyboard. Example here, let's say we are going to create a line. That's a single line, right? Okay. So the normal cursor will be empty. If you create a line, there's nothing appear except for the polar tracking or distance. But if you're using dynamic input, right, there's a box with a blue text or numbers appear on your cursor. So when you click, right, asking for either distance, right? And if you press tab, it changes into degrees. In this case, you can draw the lines according to the sizes and measurement that you want. Right? Example, the first measurement I need is the 45 degree. Then I step again. So it means the line will be drawn at the 45 degree. Yeah. And then you can key in the distance. Example 100. Then press tab. Even if press tab again, you get the line at 100 distance, 100 mm distance with 45 degrees, and you can press click. Once you click, yeah, you can continue the line. Example, you want to continue line at 100 degrees, so press tab again. You got the degrees and key in 90. Press tab. And let's say the distance you want it to have about 50. And click. And you can keep doing it. Once you're done, you can either press escape or press spacebar. The second function I'm going to introduce is a polar tracking here. Polar tracking also gives you the ability to create lines according to the degrees. There's a selection of 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, or 45, 90, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, according to the hair. And in fact, if you need more precise, you can even click at the track setting and adjust the degrees according as you want. Example, like each 5 degrees, right? So how the polar tracking work? The polar tracking also the shortcut is F10, as you can see here. So you can click. Let's example we click the polar tracking, each at 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. So let's say you click in the line. Example, right? So because you are selected at 30 degrees and 90 degrees, whenever you get in the lines, right? The line will be snapped to degrees that selected, right? Example there, 60, 30, 60, 90, right? 120, 150, 180, right? 150. So this will make our job much easier. So what they do, we just key in the distance example here, right? Enter, let's say 100. Tab. Right? So once we press the tab, the line will be snapped to the polar tracking that has been set by us. Right? 100 again. Tab. 100 again. Tab. To finish this, press escape. So the next function I'm going to introduce to you guys is the explode here. Explode example, like we create a rectangle here. So this rectangle is actually a polyline. It's actually a single line. Sometimes we do need a function to break up this line, right? So what can we do? Just press exclude and select the line and press spacebar. Once excluded, all the polyline will be separated and become a single line for each. Let's try more this for each one of it. Okay. The next function that I'm going to use is join. Join here, right? Okay. So to do just joins, just press join and select all the connected line. You must remember when using join, the first rule, the line have to be connected. Okay. So select all the line and press spacebar. Once you press spacebar, all the lines will be joined together, become a single element, or we call it as a polyline. The next function, I'm going to introduce to you guys stretch command. Right? So click the stretch command. You can select any either polyline or lines. So what you have to do, you need to select the part that you need to be stretched. Select the part, press spacebar, and drag. Right? Let's say you need a precision drag. So what you have to do, just select the line towards the degree you need and press for and key in the distance. The example here, 100, and press spacebar. In that case, the shape here will be stretched to 100 mm. You can use to any other objects, example like polygon here. Okay. Alright. And then I can press stretch here. Spacebar and drag. As you can see, the polygon shape will be changed according to the stretch angle that we choose. The next lesson that we're going to learn today is dimension. As you can see, dimension is placed on at the home ribbon here, right? But however, there is a much detailed function under annotate, which is here, right? So this is dimension. You can select all type of dimension, right, according to this, right? Example, there is a linear dimension, align dimension, angular, arc, radius, diameter, chop, and ordinate. So linear is to be used for any straight line. Example here. So this is linear dimension, right? While align dimension to be used at the slanted line. Example like this. Okay. And same as angular, example angular here. You can select two lines at certain degrees and apply the angular dimension. Arch length is to measure the length of the arch. The radius, right? Okay, we need to draw some circle here for the radius. Okay, so the radius dimension to measure the radius of the circle or arches. And the next one, which is almost similar, is diameter. Diameter is to measure the diameter of the circle. Right? Okay, I think that's all for now. The rest we will learn in more later. So one thing with dimension, we need to work with the dimension star. How to get the dimension star is here, right? The arrow here. So setting dimension star is very important, and then we need to learn to work with the scale of drawing. Example here, click modify to get the setting for the dimension. Click the modify. For today, what can we do? We're going to work with only the lines setting here, right? So for now, what you need to do, please set the put it as 5 for the offset origin. Offset origin means the distance between object with dimension. Offset origin is very important, so then we do not overlap the line of dimension with the object line. Sometimes the object line and dimension line is confusing, will be confusing, and sometimes the contractor thought that's actually a construction line, but then that's actually the dimension line, right? To end this, just press enter. Right. So if let's say the text is too small, you can change the text size here. Right? This is to change the text size, but I think for today exercise, let it be, right? And then to change the arrowhead, we can select here. Okay, there's a lots of stuff, and then for architectural method, we're going to use architectural tick, but then for today, let it be. Right, we're going to discuss this further next time. And click OK. Close. All right. Let's say once you make a changes to any dimension, it is important to update dimension, the changes that you did. So to update the dimension, press update, and then select the dimension and press spacebar. So whatever changes that we have done will be updated. This depends on the size of RAM and the space that you have in your computer. Sometimes if your RAM is too low, it will take some time. It will take some time to update the dimension. Right. So to force into update, you just click update here. Right. But sometimes if your RAM is good, then they just auto update the dimension. Okay. And then the next one is actually to inspect. This one is to inspect your dimension, what you have here. Right? And then this one here is to create a continuous dimension. This usually work with a parallel dimension example you have here. Example we have here dimension here, linear dimension. Sorry, we can change this linear dimension. The dimension here. So you have that, and then you can click on continue. Right. As you can see here. There. So using the continue dimension here, it will continue whatever the dimension into a parallel line. Right. The next one I'm going to introduce is the multi-leader. It's a multi-leader here. Right. So the multi-leader will help us to do the specification and annotation for any architectural drawing. I'm sure you learned this in architecture graphics, right? So let's say if you want to do the specification for this box here, you can just click any part of the box. Right? And then press spacebar, click, and then you can start type in box. So done. Choose text editor. So that is leaders. So the leaders still can be set the style by clicking the same arrow here. So there is a multi-leader style manager. And click modify. There you are. Right. So you can set the leader to be on each block on what colors, right? Or the line weights, the size of the arrow, right? And the leader break here. And also the leader structures and even the content. Okay.